For me, it gives me a greater sense of focus and clarity.
How long have you been meditating?
Well, actually, I brought meditation to my whole company just before I ended, like in 2010, because it makes for a better environment where everybody is focused and of one mind and doing well.
And you do it like twice a day?
I do it twice a day. I did it 3 times a day because I was coming on here with you.
Meditating. And something about TM, something about having that mantra, it is the only time I have that stillness. It's the only way I've ever been able to sit long enough that I open my eyes and I'm sad that it's 20 minutes later. I actually love, and I never had that feeling before, late at night alone at an ATM machine, but that was not safe. But,
So, you want to know about meditation, specifically transcendental meditation. If you don't know what meditation is, let me explain. It is a form of how people clear their heads and give themselves a time away from others and a time away from everything else but their own breath and focusing on relaxing. And it can be either the best experience of someone's life or an experience that doesn't really affect a person too much. For me, when I first tried it, it didn't affect me too much. I was like, everyone talks about it so much, but you know, I didn't really see any benefit that they were all talking and raving about. So then, you know, I didn't do it for a couple years in high school, and then right around freshman year of college, I started dabbling in meditating maybe a couple times a month. I would do it when I thought of it. I didn't really think about it too much because I was so focused on other things because it wasn't a part of my daily life back then. But when I did do it, I started to notice a change, that the more I focused on just relaxing instead of trying to clear my mind, which is what the typical answer is when people say, like, what is meditation? And people think that it's just intentionally not thinking about anything, and that couldn't be more wrong, but that's what people say. And so when I figured out how to do it right, that's when everything changed, and that is when I became the biggest advocate for it. I'm not getting paid to talk about any of this, but I love meditation so much because it has helped me so much with not only my anxiety attacks, my depression, my PTSD. It has helped with my mental clarity, my energy, my overall health, and my internal health. So I've seen the difference in it, and I want you to see and get the difference that I felt. I want you to experience that just as much. So that's what meditation is when you're sitting down, cross-legged or laying down, and you're being still and you're focusing on breathing. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be not thinking about anything, because your mind is always going to wander. But when it does wander, that's when you need to just focus on going back to the breath and thinking and just being. And why people say think about the breath is because that's what you're doing right now. That's the present moment. And that's what meditation is all about, focusing on the present moment. And when you're focused on the present moment, you're not worried about the future, you're not worried about the past, you're just focused on right now. And living in the moment is truly what you are able to experience fully when you meditate. So that's why I love it so much. And it not only gives you mental clarity, but specifically for those who do have a mental illness. For most people, it doesn't cure it, but definitely with all people, it will help dramatically. So let's get into how to actually perform meditation. Meditation can go one of two ways. You can either do concentrated meditation or transcendental meditation, which is basically the same thing as being mindful. So when you hear someone say, be mindful of the force, you know, stuff like that. Be mindful just means be in the present moment. So be in a transcendental state. So the first one, which is concentration meditation, basically when you have an idea that you want to work out, when you have a problem you want to solve, if you have a problem in your relationships or a new idea that you're thinking of and you want to specifically concentrate on that, when you meditate and you think on that, oxygen flows more freely to the brain when you are at your calmest state of mind. And when you have the most oxygen in the brain, your brain thinks the clearest and your body operates on its highest levels. So you're giving yourself the best chance to figure out and have more quality ideas and thoughts come in your mind when you're in a meditative state. Because when you're in a meditative state, you're going into like almost a REM cycle state where you're not sleeping, but you're not awake. You're kind of in this middle zone where you're so relaxed, but you're conscious of what's going on around you. And it's a really cool feeling. So definitely would say find a spot to sit down, and somewhere where there's natural light, so you can get the full vitamin D, sun vitamin, which also produces serotonin in the brain and can lead to more happiness. So natural sunlight, not artificial light. And when you're sitting down, try and sit on something, preferably like 2 pillows, so your butt is like higher than your legs. It was hard for me to sit for more than 5 minutes when I was just sitting on the ground or just one pillow, like that. It was terrible. I hated it. I couldn't sit for more than 5 minutes, and I'm not flexible, so that sucked. But when I actually got a meditation cushion, those things are amazing. It is so comfortable. It is like the perfect seat, and it's not too soft, it's not too hard, and it fits your butt to leg ratio. Like it's pretty big square, but it's awesome. It's like made for meditating. They also have meditation cushions, just circular cushions, and you can also just prop up like 2 stacks of pillows and then sit on that and let your legs lean in a downward motion. So that's how you actually sit, because it props your back up, and when your back is up, your head is straight with your spine. When you get distracted, go back to the breath, and it's gonna happen. Don't be discouraged if you are wandering and your mind is going in all different directions. It usually takes about 10 to 12 minutes for me, for my mind to calm down and for my mind to actually start focusing on my breath consistently. And what that does is, if you wait long enough when you're sitting in this position, you're gonna notice it, trust me, because I didn't feel it at first. After like 5 minutes when you are sitting down alone with your thoughts is a very long time. So when I was sitting for that long, I thought, man, I can't do this for 20 minutes. I didn't get to that point of where my body could go into that REM state of meditating. So that would be the last thing I would say is go for a duration of time, and then you can work your way up from there as the weeks go on and you get a little bit better at it. But other than that, the only thing I can say is you've got to try it for yourself. Look up YouTube videos. I'll put a couple videos down below in the link so you can check out. But I highly recommend you try this TM, Transcendental Meditation. Everyone's doing it, and so should you. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you like this video, please leave us a thumbs up and subscribe down below for our latest videos.